Hello, and welcome back to the channel. Top Coin. If you're someone who loves collecting coins or just stumbled across a strange old dime in your drawer, you're in for a treat today. What if I told you that a simple 1986 dime, that's right, just 10 cents, could actually be worth way more than its face value? We're diving deep into the world of coin collecting to explore the 1986 Roosevelt dime from the United States. Its history, the little-known mint errors, the rare varieties, and most importantly, its real market value today. You'll never look at a pocketful of change the same way again. So, stay tuned and don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe because what you're about to learn could turn your spare change into serious cash. Let's start with the basics. What exactly is the 1986 dime? The 1986 dime is part of the Roosevelt dime series, which has been in production since 1946. These dimes were introduced shortly after the death of President Franklin D. Roosevelt, as a tribute to his leadership and his role in founding the March of Dimes, a campaign to fight polio. The Roosevelt dime has featured the same portrait on the obverse, or front, ever since. That's over 70 years of history packed into just 10 cents. The 1986 dime is made from a clad composition. That means it has an outer layer of 75% copper and 25% nickel, bonded to a core that is mostly copper. It weighs about 2.27 grams and has a diameter of 17.91 millimeters. On the obverse, you'll see Roosevelt's profile facing left, the word liberty, the phrase "In God We Trust," the year 1986, and the mint mark indicating where it was struck. The reverse features a torch in the center, symbolizing liberty, flanked by an olive branch on the left and an oak branch on the right, representing peace and strength. Section 2. Where was the 1986 dime minted? There are three types of 1986 dimes, depending on where they were minted. 1986 P, minted in Philadelphia. 1986 D, minted in Denver. 1986 S. Proof coin minted in San Francisco. Most of the dimes from this year are still in circulation today, especially the Philadelphia and Denver issues. The San Francisco coins, however, are special. They were made for collectors in proof sets. More on that in a minute. In terms of mintage numbers, the U.S. Mint struck nearly 1.1 billion 1986 P dimes and over 855 million 1986 D dimes. That's a lot of coins. But don't let that huge number fool you, because some rare ones among them are worth far more than 10 cents. Now let's talk about the juicy part. The valuable errors and rare varieties that make certain 1986 dimes incredibly sought after by collectors. Here are the main types to look out for. This is when the coin design is not centered on the blank planchet, leaving part of the design missing. Depending on how far off-center it is, and whether the date is still visible, such an error can fetch anywhere from $50 to $300 or more. This rare error occurs when the coin is struck twice due to a misalignment during the minting process. If you notice a doubling effect on the date, liberty, or in God We Trust, you may be holding a double die error dime. Some examples have sold for $150 to $500 or higher at auctions. Now this is the crown jewel for many collectors. A 1986 S proof dime that was mistakenly struck without the S mint mark is incredibly rare. These were supposed to have been minted at San Francisco with the S mark, but some left the mint without it. If you find one, it could be worth over $1,000. This happens when the coin blank is improperly cut, resulting in a curved or straight piece missing from the coin. A clipped 1986 dime can easily bring in $50 to $200, depending on the severity and condition. So how much is your average 1986 dime worth? Let's break it down. Circulated 1986 P and 1986 D dimes are generally worth their face value, about 10 cents, unless they are in extremely high condition or feature an error. Uncirculated examples, meaning coins that have never been used and still have a perfect mint luster, can fetch between $1 and $3 depending on the grade. Proof 1986 S dimes in excellent condition typically sell for $2 to $5. But if it's missing the S mint mark, the value skyrockets. Error coins like off-center strikes or double dies can go for anywhere from $50 to over $1,000 depending on rarity and condition. Always remember, condition matters. A coin graded MS 65 or higher by a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC will be worth significantly more than a coin with scratches, wear, or corrosion. If you think you have a valuable 1986 dime, here's what to do next. Examine your coin under a magnifying glass or digital microscope. Look for any signs of doubling, off-center strikes, or unusual features. Weigh the coin. Standard weight is 2.27 grams. If it's significantly heavier or lighter, you may have a wrong planchet error. Check for a missing mint mark, especially on proof coins. Get it graded by a reputable company. Grading can make a huge difference in your coin's value and your credibility when selling it. List it carefully on marketplaces like eBay, Etsy, or coin auction sites. Make sure you include clear, high-resolution images and a full description. So there you have it. The 1986 US dime is more than just a small piece of change. It's a part of American history, a tribute to one of the nation's most respected presidents, and in some rare cases, it could be a miniature treasure worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. If you're going through your coin jar tonight, don't overlook that little Roosevelt dime. Take a close look. Who knows, you might just be holding a rare error coin or a perfect uncirculated beauty worth far more than 10 cents. If you found this video helpful or interesting, be sure to give it a thumbs up, share it with your fellow collectors, and subscribe to the channel for more awesome coin and currency content. Leave a comment below if you've ever found a rare coin, and let's get a conversation started. Until next time, happy collecting and keep an eye on your change. You never know what you might find. Welcome back to the channel, Top Coin, coin collectors, treasure hunters, and curious minds. Today we're diving deep into the fascinating world of numismatics to uncover the mystery behind the 2002 US dime. This isn't just any coin. This small piece of metal has a big story to tell and potentially an even bigger price tag. Let's rewind the clock a bit. The dime, officially known as the 10-cent coin, has been part of American currency since 1796. Its name comes from the Latin word decimus, meaning tenth. Over the years, the dime has gone through numerous design changes, but one of the most iconic is the one we use today, the Roosevelt dime, introduced in 1946 to honor President Franklin D. Roosevelt after his death. By 2002, the dime had already seen decades of circulation with the same basic design, a left-facing profile of President Roosevelt on the obverse and a torch flanked by an olive branch and oak branch on the reverse. Simple, elegant, patriotic. But it's not just the design that matters, it's what's underneath, literally and metaphorically. Now, you might be wondering, what makes the 2002 dime special? After all, millions were minted. That's true. In fact, the Philadelphia Mint alone struck over 1.3 billion dimes that year, and the Denver Mint wasn't far behind. But as with many coins, rarity isn't always about the mintage numbers. It's about the mistakes, the misprints, the die errors, those rare flukes that slip through quality control and become numismatic legends. Collectors have been buzzing for years over rare 2002 dimes with unique errors that make them incredibly valuable. We're talking about double die obverse, off-center strikes, missing clad layers, and no mint mark varieties, some of which have sold for jaw-dropping prices. Let's take a closer look at a few of these incredible error coins from 2002. One particularly rare specimen featured a dramatic off-center strike, where the coin's image was visibly misaligned, showing a crescent of blank space. That coin, though just a dime, sold for over $150 at auction. Another example had a double die error, where parts of Roosevelt's face and lettering were doubled due to a minting mishap. That one fetched nearly $300 from a collector who knew what to look for. But that's not the limit. A missing clad layer error, where the top layer of the coin didn't bond correctly, turned a standard-looking dime into a copper-colored oddity. That unusual error coin? It went for over $500. Imagine holding 10 cents and realizing it's worth enough to pay for your monthly internet bill. Want to know if you're sitting on a small fortune? Here's what to check. Start by inspecting the coin under bright light or a magnifying glass. Look for doubling on the text, especially "In God We Trust" or "Liberty." Any signs of letters or numbers appearing slightly shadowed or doubled could indicate a double die error. Also, check the edges. A 2002 dime should have a copper-nickel clad appearance, but if the edge is fully copper-colored or silvery all the way around, you might be looking at a missing clad layer coin. Don't forget the mint mark. Coins without the P or D could be an error or a rare proof struck at a different mint. And speaking of proofs, if you find a 2002 dime with an extremely shiny, mirror-like finish and frosted designs, it might be a proof coin from the San Francisco Mint. While most of these are not ultra-rare, a perfect condition proof coin can still sell for a premium, especially if graded as PF70. So what's the current market saying about these coins? As of 2025, collector interest in Roosevelt dimes, especially error coins, continues to rise. A normal 2002 dime is worth just face value, of course, but error coins are a hot niche. Depending on the type and severity of the error, 2002 dimes are selling anywhere from $20 to over $1,000 on collector marketplaces and auction sites. The key is condition, rarity, and certification. If you suspect you have a valuable dime, consider sending it to a grading service like PCGS or NGC. A graded coin with a known error can fetch a significantly higher price than an ungraded one. Who knew that such a small coin could carry so much value, both financially and historically? The 2002 US dime is a perfect reminder that treasure doesn't always come in the form of gold bars or rare paintings. Sometimes, it's tucked away in your change jar, quietly waiting for someone with a sharp eye and a curious mind. So next time you get change at the store, don't just toss those dimes aside. Inspect them, flip them, learn their story. Because you never know, your next coin might just be worth a fortune. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the world of dimes and discoveries, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss a treasure hunting tip. And tell us in the comments, have you ever found a rare coin in your pocket change? Until next time, happy collecting, and remember, every coin has a story. Yours might just be priceless. If you're into hidden treasures hiding in plain sight, then you're absolutely in the right place. Today, we're talking about a tiny coin with a big story, the 2005 United States Roosevelt dime. That's right, the humble 10-cent coin that many of us have tossed into vending machines or dropped into couch cushions could actually be worth hundreds, even thousands, of dollars, depending on a few rare details. So make sure you stick around until the very end, because we're going to explore everything you need to know, from its history, minting process, design, and all the way to rare error versions that are making collectors go absolutely wild. The dime has been a cornerstone of American currency for more than 2 centuries. First introduced in 1796, the 10-cent coin was designed to help people make change quickly and easily. Over time, it has gone through several design transformations, from the draped bust to the seated Liberty, to the barber dime, and later to the Mercury dime. But since 1946, the U.S. dime has featured the profile of Franklin D. Roosevelt, the 32nd President of the United States. His face was chosen in honor of his leadership through the Great Depression and World War II, as well as his association with the March of Dimes, a campaign to fight polio. Fast forward to 2005, and while the design remained largely unchanged from the post-war era, something very special happened that year. And that's where things get interesting. In 2005, Roosevelt dimes were minted at 2 primary U.S. mint facilities: Philadelphia Mint, marked with a small P, Denver Mint, marked with a D. There were over 2.2 billion dimes minted that year between both facilities. So yes, it's a common year on the surface. The obverse side features Roosevelt's left-facing profile with the inscriptions "Liberty, in God We Trust," and the year 2005. The reverse shows a torch, flanked by an olive branch and an oak branch, representing liberty, peace, and strength. Sounds standard, right? Well, that's where the average ends, because some of these dimes, despite being just 10 cents, have become highly valuable collectibles. Why? Because of errors, conditions, and grading. Now let's talk about value. Most 2005 dimes are worth exactly 10 cents. But certain rare ones? They've sold at auction for hundreds and sometimes over $2,000. Some 2005 dimes came out with fascinating and highly desirable mint errors. These can include double die errors. This happens when the die strikes the coin more than once, causing doubling on letters or features like Liberty or the date. These can be subtle or dramatic off-center strikes. A dime struck off-center, especially if 50% or more of the design is missing, can fetch $100 to $500 plus, depending on the extent and visibility. Clipped planchet errors. These are dimes that are missing a portion of their edge due to a flaw in the blanking process. Again, collectors love these NO mint mark errors. Although Philadelphia dimes are supposed to have a P, there are known examples where the mint mark is missing, not because it wore off, but because it was never there to begin with. That can boost the coin's value significantly. Coins are graded on the Sheldon scale, which runs from 1 to 70. A mint state, MS, 67, 68, or 69 dime from 2005 can be incredibly valuable because it's so hard to find coins in flawless condition, especially ones that have been in circulation. A 2005 P. Roosevelt dime, graded MS-68, sold for over $1,200 at auction. A 2005 D dime in MS-68 full bands condition also fetched close to $1,000. Full bands refers to a detail on the torch on the reverse side. When the horizontal lines are fully struck and separated, it shows an exceptionally strong strike, although not struck for circulation. Proof dimes were minted at the San Francisco Mint. These are specially made coins with mirror-like surfaces, only sold in collector sets. A 2005 S-proof dime in PR70 deep cameo condition can also bring in high prices, especially if it has a rare error or variation. Okay, now that you know what makes some of these dimes valuable, here's what you should do if you want to hunt for one yourself. Grab a magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe. Look for any signs of doubling on the words "Liberty," "In God We Trust," or the date. Check the edges. Is the coin perfectly round, or is a piece missing? Look at the torch on the reverse side. Are the bands clearly defined and separated? Check the condition. No scratches, dents, or wear. That's a good sign. And most importantly, if you think you found something valuable, get it graded by a reputable company like PCGS or NGC. So what is the current value of the 2005 Roosevelt dime today? Here are some quick recent market insights. Common circulated coins, still worth 10 cents MS-65 condition, $5 to $1.15 MS-67 condition, $25 to $1.75 MS-68 or higher, $100 to $1,500, depending on mint mark and rarity. Rare error coins, $200 to $2,000 plus, depending on the type and visibility. Proof coins in PR70, around $30 to $100, but higher if deep cameo or has a known error. Coin collecting is an evolving market. These values change based on auction results, market trends, and collector interest. So if you have a unique piece, check with a coin dealer or watch recent sales on auction sites like Heritage Auctions, eBay, or Great Collections.so. The next time you get change at the store or open that old jar of coins sitting in your kitchen, don't overlook the tiny 2005 dime. What looks like just a simple 10-cent coin could turn out to be a small fortune hiding in your pocket. Whether you're a new collector or a seasoned numismatist, it always pays to look closely. Because treasure, as we've seen time and time again, often comes in the most unexpected forms. If you enjoyed this video and want more deep dives into hidden coin treasures, rare banknotes, and money you might already own that's worth way more than face value, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an update. Have you ever found a rare coin in your pocket change? Let us know in the comments below. We love hearing your stories. Today, we're about to take a closer look at a coin you probably see every single day and barely think twice about. A coin that's small in size, but can carry some big surprises in your pocket change. That's right, we're talking about the 2016 United States dime, better known as the Roosevelt dime. Now, you might be thinking, it's just a dime. What could be so special about it? Well, buckle up, because you're about to discover how some of these humble coins are worth way more than just 10 cents. In fact, certain 2016 dimes can be worth hundreds, even thousands of dollars to collectors. So whether you're a seasoned numismatist or just someone curious about pocket change, stick around. This video could change the way you see every dime in your wallet. History of the Roosevelt dime. Let's begin with a little background. The Roosevelt dime was first introduced in 1946, just a year after the death of President Franklin D. Roosevelt. His face replaced the image of Lady Liberty, which had been used on dimes since the late 19th century. Why Roosevelt, you ask? It's because he was a central figure in the creation of the March of Dimes, a campaign to fight polio, a disease Roosevelt himself suffered from. His connection to the dime wasn't just symbolic, it was personal, national, and historical. The design, created by John R. Cynic, features Roosevelt's profile on the obverse, or front, of the coin. The reverse shows a torch in the center, flanked by an olive branch and an oak branch, symbolizing liberty, peace, and strength. It's a design that has stood the test of time, with only minor changes over the decades. 2016 Roosevelt dime. What makes it special? Fast forward to 2016. Millions, yes, millions of Roosevelt dimes were minted that year. In fact, over 2.4 billion dimes were struck between the three major mints, Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. So why are some of them worth so much more than face value? It all comes down to mint marks, errors, and condition. Let's break it down. Mint marks and mint locations. There are three mint marks to look for. Tongue sticking out for Philadelphia, D for Denver's for San Francisco. The San Francisco mint is unique because it typically produces proof coins. These are high-quality coins with mirror-like finishes, made especially for collectors. A 2016 S-proof dime in perfect condition can sell for several dollars. But the real treasures are the error coins and the ultra-high-grade coins, especially from the Philadelphia and Denver mints. Valuable errors to watch for. Now here's where things get interesting. Some 2016 dimes were struck with errors that make them extremely valuable. Here are some of the rare and sought-after errors collectors are hunting for. Off-center strikes. This occurs when the coin blank isn't properly aligned during striking. The result is a misaligned image, and depending on how off-center it is, these can sell from $50 to several $100s. Double die errors. These are coins where parts of the design, usually the lettering or numbers, appear doubled due to a misalignment in the die. A 2016 dime with noticeable doubling on Liberty or the date can fetch $100 to $300 or more depending on the clarity and rarity. Die cracks and cuts. These are when the die used to strike the coin develops cracks or breaks, leading to raised lines or blobs of metal on the coin. Depending on size and location, these errors can be worth anywhere from $10 to $200. Missing clad layer. Modern dimes are made with a copper core and a nickel coating. If that coating is missing or incomplete, it reveals a red or brownish tone and makes the coin look very different. These are rare and can be worth $150 to $500 or more. High-grade coins and grading system. Even if your 2016 dime doesn't have an error, don't count it out just yet. A regular dime in perfect uncirculated condition, especially those graded MS-67, MS-68, or even MS-69, can fetch high premiums on the collector market. To give you an idea, an MS-67 dime might sell for around $15 to $25. An MS-68 dime can sell for $50 to $100. An MS-69, though rare, could go for $300 or more. Proof coins graded PR 70 DCM Deep Cameo can sell for $100 to $200, especially if certified by PCGS or NGC. Current market value in 2025. As of this year, 2025, the market for coins is hotter than ever. With inflation, economic uncertainty, and the growing interest in collectibles, coin values are climbing. Collectors are hunting for pristine, error-free coins, and they're willing to pay a premium for dimes in gem condition. On eBay and other auction platforms, we're seeing 2016 dimes with major errors sell for hundreds, sometimes even thousands of dollars, especially if the error is dramatic and well documented. Always remember, what might look like a boring 10-cent coin could actually be a hidden gem waiting to be discovered. What to look for in your pocket change. So next time you get change at the store, here's what you should do. Check the year. Look for 2016. Look closely at the mint mark. Is it P, D, or S? Inspect the coin. Is the image off-center? Are there double letters or numbers? Any strange raised lines, discolorations, or missing features? Condition matters. If it looks brand new and shiny, it could be worth grading. How to sell your valuable dimes. If you think you have a valuable 2016 dime, your next step is to take high-quality photos of both sides, compare it with known error examples online, submit it to a coin grading service like PCGS or NGC listed on auction platforms, coin forums, or reach out to coin dealers. So there you have it, the story of how a 2016 Roosevelt dime can be worth far more than 10 cents. Whether it's an error coin, a proof, or a perfect mint state example, this little coin has big potential. You could be holding on to a mini fortune without even knowing it. All it takes is a closer look and a bit of curiosity. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button, subscribe for more coin stories and discoveries, and don't forget to ring that notification bell so you never miss a hidden treasure. Drop a comment below if you've ever found a valuable dime or want help identifying one. Who knows, you might have gold in your pocket change. What if I told you that the small, often overlooked dime in your pocket could be worth way more than just 10 cents? Yes, you heard that right. The 2023 United States dime, that tiny silver-colored coin you probably ignore every day, might just be a hidden gem. In this video, we're diving deep into the 2023 dime, exploring its rich history, design, the fascinating legacy of the Roosevelt dime, rare errors that make it valuable, and what collectors are currently paying for special versions of this little coin. So grab your coin jars and get ready, because we're about to uncover what might be hiding in plain sight. Now let's take a step back in time. The dime, a 10-cent coin, has been part of American currency since the Coinage Act of 1792. The word dime itself comes from the French word dime, meaning tenth. Since then, the dime has gone through numerous transformations, but none more iconic than the one we use today, the Roosevelt dime. The Roosevelt dime first entered circulation in 1946, shortly after the death of President Franklin D. Roosevelt. It was designed by John R. Sinek, the chief engraver of the U.S. Mint at the time. Roosevelt was chosen not just because of his presidency, but because of his strong support for the March of Dimes, an organization that helped combat polio, a disease he personally battled. So, the dime became both a tribute and a symbol of hope. Fast forward to 2023. At first glance, the dime might look the same. Roosevelt's familiar profile on the obverse, torch, olive branch, and oak branch on the reverse, symbolizing liberty, peace, and strength. But here's where things get interesting. In 2023, subtle changes and rare mint errors have stirred excitement in the numismatic world. Minted primarily in Philadelphia and Denver, you can identify the mint marks P and D just above the date. There are also special collector's versions from the San Francisco Mint marked with an S. While standard circulated coins aren't unusual, some uncirculated and proof coins, especially from the San Francisco Mint, are commanding high interest from collectors. This is where the story gets juicy. Error coins are where everyday change turns into treasure. In 2023, several error varieties have been reported, and some are extremely valuable. These include off-center strikes, dimes where the design is clearly misaligned, sometimes by 10, 15, even 40%. These can fetch anywhere from $50 to several $100 depending on the severity. Double dies, a classic error where the details on the coin appear doubled, especially noticeable on Roosevelt's eye, the date, or the inscriptions like Liberty and In God We Trust. A sharp and dramatic doubling can bring in thousands of dollars. Missing clad layers. These are dramatic. If the top layer of the coin is missing, the dime appears coppery or has a strange color. These can go for hundreds, even more if in mint condition. Die cracks and cuts. These small raised lines or blobs appear on the surface where the die cracked during minting. While not always extremely valuable, some collectors seek these for their uniqueness. So before you spend that dime, take a close look. A magnifying glass and good lighting might help you discover a fortune. Now, let's talk money. What is the 2023 dime really worth? Circulated versions from Philadelphia or Denver are typically still worth just face value, 10 cents, unless they have a significant error. Uncirculated coins, especially those with pristine condition or found in mint sets, can sell for $1 to $5 depending on quality. Proof coins from the San Francisco Mint, especially if graded by third-party grading services like PCGS or NGC, can bring in $10 to $25 or more. Rare error coins, like those we just talked about, have sold at auction for hundreds or even thousands. For example, a dramatic double die or off-center strike in high grade could be worth anywhere from $200 to a few $1,000s depending on demand in the coin market. It's heating up. With inflation and a renewed interest in tangible assets, collectors are increasingly turning to coins. That means demand is rising, and values are too. You might be wondering, how can I tell if my 2023 dime is worth something? Here are a few tips. Examine under magnification. Look closely at Roosevelt's eye, the inscriptions, and the date for any signs of doubling. Check for alignment. Is the design off-center? That's a good sign. Weigh your coin. A standard dime should weigh about 2.27 grams. Any major deviation could indicate a missing clad layer or wrong planchet. Use a flashlight at an angle. This can help highlight die cracks or unusual textures. Compare to online reference photos. Sites like PCGS, NGC, and coin forums have detailed images of known errors and varieties. If you think you found a special 2023 dime, don't rush to sell it just yet. Consider these steps. Get it graded by a reputable company like PCGS or NGC. This can significantly increase its value. Compare recent sales on eBay and auction houses like Heritage Auctions. Join coin collecting communities or forums to get opinions from seasoned collectors. Visit a local coin shop or show to get a hands-on evaluation. Just one rare dime, properly identified and marketed, could bring in hundreds or even thousands. That's a big return for a 10-cent coin. So next time you get change back at the store or dig into that old coin jar in your kitchen, don't overlook the dimes, especially the ones from 2023. What might seem like just another coin could be a miniature masterpiece, and a valuable one at that. Keep looking, keep collecting, and most importantly, keep learning. Because the treasure is out there. It might even be in your pocket right now. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe for more coin hunting tips, and hit the bell icon so you never miss a new discovery. Drop a comment below if you found any rare 2023 dimes or have questions about your collection. Until next time, happy hunting, and may your change always be full of surprises.